What's up? I know y'all kind of confused right now, but yeah, it's Wine Advice with Herman Rice. And like the title, I'm gonna be giving y'all some advice on wine. I'm tired of just watching y'all buy this Trader Joe wine for $2 and then talk about y'all know all about wine. We're gonna change that. Then you can know why you're buying the $2 wine as opposed to the $58 wine. So hey, Wine Advice with Herman Rice. Let's get it started. Now, me myself, for a long time, I've been drinking wine as well, and not knowing what I was drinking. I'm just having a good time, getting drunk, and then being bougie with mostly my white friends, because that's who was drinking wine at the time. But you have to understand, you go a lot of places where you can't always get the yak. In fact, it's not even cool to order the yak when you're at these places. So now I'm going to give you another option so you can look like the LeBrons and the Oprahs and whoever you may be trying to be when you are buying wine at these expensive restaurants. So I formulated some questions for us just to kind of help you with the basics of wine and also help me. These were the questions I had first asked when learning about wine. Let's get into it. What is a wine sommelier? As we like to call it, Somali. I think that might be wrong, but it looked like that's how it's spelled.
I think it's sommelier.
Sommelier?
Sommelier.
Samoan?
Sommelier, something like that.
It's French. I think they say sommelier. I had to throw my French accent on real fast.
Yeah, there it is.
But it's basically a wine steward, somebody who has studied and knows a lot about wine. You can find these people at, not Olive Garden, I don't think they work there. That is not the right place to go. But they are at more expensive restaurants, and you can ask for these people. Sometimes they are jerks because we know people who know everything can be assholes. But a lot of times these people are nice because it is their job on the line. So, if you are ever confused about what type of wine you want or what wine should be paired with what food, a sommelier is your person for the job. Sommelier. Our next question, guys, is why does the year on the bottle matter? A lot of us see these years and we think, oh, the older the year, the better the wine, which would lead you to believe that. But that is not why the year is on the bottle. The year is on the bottle to let you know what year, why was the year on the bottle? That's why the year is on the bottle. See, I get confused sometimes too. The year is on the bottle basically lets you know what year was made. Damn, that is common sense. Oh, it's the climate. Right, it's basically all the shit that be going on during that year. So if you buying a bottle of wine from 2020, do not. It's dangerous times. This is the worst time to buy a bottle of wine. 2019, maybe. 2020, no. Tell them you do not want that. Throw it away. But yeah, it's just basically the conditions of the weather and vineyard and how it was going on the farm when the wine was made. You can actually look up the year and see the weather and how the grapes were treated. So yeah, that's what the year has to do. Now, the next thing we learn about is a lot of people, they say they are wine collectors, but you go in their crib and you see that the wine is just out. And it's not stored properly. Now you may think that storing it properly is just having it up in a cabinet, but it is not. When you store wine, you have to store it on its side. Now the reason you store it on its side is we have to keep the cork wet because it doesn't allow air in if it's wet. Take your mind out the gutter, please. Thank you. But again, it preserves the wine. Once wine gets in the bottle, starts to damage the wine, it's done. Now you can no longer store wine. Now you don't have to leave the wine on its side if you're going to drink it within the next couple weeks, but if you're planning on storing it for some years, put it on its side. talk about different things inside of the wines, like different elements and things like that. Now, one of the things you'll hear people talk about are tannins. Okay, now you may ask yourself, what is a tannin? No, this is not what white people do to get color. Okay, they do drink this when they tan, but this is not the same thing. Okay, a tannin is basically like grape seeds, oaks, things left over from the fermentation, I believe. I might be getting too extra, but these are things that are left over in the process of making the wine, which are now stored inside of the bottle. Now, it adds bitterness as well as like complexity. I got a list, but I can't say that word straight out. But it's commonly found in red wines, and then although some white wines have tannin too, just like white. Goddamn. Yeah. But those are tannins, guys. Next question. Now the next thing on the bottle is the alcohol level. Okay, now obviously we know the more alcohol the better, but that isn't necessarily true all the time, right? The percentage of alcohol is built to your taste, and I'll explain this to you guys, okay? The higher the alcohol percentage, the sweeter the wine is going to be, all right? So if you like sweet wine, then you may look for stuff with a higher alcohol percentage. All right, now bitter stuff is going to have a lower alcohol percentage, right? It's not going to taste as well, right? But the higher alcohol percentages go better with red meats, and the lower alcohol percentages go better with like fish and things like that. Just basically lighter meals, lower acidity. God, I'm gonna look that word. All right, guys, I know you get confused when you see people slurping wine. It used to confuse me as well. I thought they was being extra, but the reason they slurp the wine, this is so many S's. God damn, why did I put this in a script? I know I have trouble saying these S words. Anyway, listen guys, it is to introduce oxygen inside of the wine and also inside of your mouth. Okay, that way just giving it more air, making it richer, you get more out of the taste when you taste the wine, when you introduce the oxygen. Golly. So yeah, all the slurping and swishing and swirl, I gotta stay away from these S words. That people do is basically all just to get the aroma and all the external components of the wine. So that's why they do all that S stuff. Next question. All right, guys. The next thing is you're gonna ask yourself, you'll see people like swirling it around and stuff like that, and then you'll see them look at the glass, and I'll show you in a second, but there's these things on it that they will call legs. Now, you know wine ain't got no legs. If you see some legs in wine, you gonna leave that restaurant. That's the wrong restaurant to be at.
That's a 2020 wine.
That's the dangerous wine that we also telling you to stay away from. Any wine made in 2020 is dangerous. I'm sorry if y'all made it, it's just a bad year for it. But anyway, the legs, guys, they determine the alcohol level in the wine. All right, and the thicker the legs, the slower it runs down the side of the cup. It's usually going to be more alcohol in that. The less alcohol, you'll see it streams a little faster, it's a little thinner. You'll maybe find those in a lot of whites as well. But yes, so when people refer to the legs, they're basically referring to what runs down the side of the cups, those little teardrops, and how fast they run down. Help you out. Next question. You'll often hear people refer to wine as being buttery, and it sounds crazy. Saying it makes me stumble on my words because it confuses me. But once you start drinking wine, you'll understand what they mean. Basically, they're just talking about it being aged in oak and not being as acidic. So it has a creamier texture when you're drinking it. Again, very simple. White people use really weird ways to describe stuff, but when they say buttery wine, that's what they're talking about.